Well, they gave us the best collection of Master Set players that we've received so far in NHL 23. In this video, we're going to go over all of the Week 2 Spreadsheet Hockey cards, as well as all of the new stuff that was added into the game, including a pretty big upgrade to a certain X Factor and an ability point change. If you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the video a like if you enjoy it. All right, let's get into it. All right, first thing, let's touch on the ability points. It has now been bumped up to 45. Don't worry. None of the actual individual abilities have changed at all. They have stayed exactly the same in terms of their value, but you can now go up to 45, which is pretty sweet because if you have a lot of decent players, and even if you don't, there's a lot of cards that have really good abilities on them, and now you've got the freedom to use a little bit more. So just keep that in mind before you go into your next game. Make sure that you add in some of the ability points that you've now got allotted for you. All right, let's start off, as always, by covering the lower overall cards from the Week 2 event. We've got the 6'6" Nikita Zadorov with booming shots, 83 speed and acceleration, but he's got 94 body checking with booming shot, and he's 6'6". If you are just starting your Hockey Ultimate Team squad, and you are someone who has played at the very high end of Hockey Ultimate Team in the past, Zadorov might actually be half decent for you if you can handle the fact that, you know, defending the rush is going to be absolutely pointless because how slow he is, but once you're in your own zone, he's going to be able to get the puck back against anybody. Next, we've got the 82 overall Mason Shaw from the Minnesota Wild with Thief and Schneip. He's 5'10 with 87 speed, 87 acceleration, but he's got 90 shot power with Thief activated. However, like defensively, with only 80 defensive awareness, 82 stick checking, and 80 on the faceoffs, that's with Thief activated, just not really going to be a card that I would recommend using. Eric Gustafsson's up next, 6 foot with Send It and Spark. Spark is a good synergy, however, his skating is just too low for him only being 6 feet, and Send It is one of the most useless superstar abilities in my opinion, so just not really someone. If you packed the Eric Gustafsson, I would just use him in sets or sell him tradable. Carolyn Harvey gets a card, the 83 overall left defenseman, 5'8", 161 with Protector and Thunderclap. Thunderclap is a little bit interesting on some of the women defenseman cards because their slap shot power is so low. Thunderclap might actually make up for that. 87 speed, 89 acceleration. Sneaky decent speed and acceleration with 88 defensive awareness if you have Protector on. So again, this would only be viable at the very beginning of your HUT team. From the New Jersey Devils, we've got the 83 Jonas Siegenthaler, 6'2" with Magician and Seeing Eye. Again, he is 6'2", which is good size, but 83 acceleration, 84 speed, does have 88 body checking. I'd rather just go with Zadorov if that's the case. He's got basically the same skating, and Zadorov's 6'6", so this would be an avoid for me. Nick Ehlers is up next from the Winnipeg Jets, 84 overall, 6 foot, left-handed winger. And he has always had great skating, 91 speed, 91 acceleration, and 91 agility with Magician activated. This is one of the best left-handed cards to go out and get early on in the game, much like base Taylor Hall. He is going to basically be the kind of card you go after until you get, let's say, base McDavid, and you move on from there. Very viable, especially early on in the game. Thomas Tatar gets an upgrade to 84 overall with Dangle City, which is one of the worst and no contest. 87 speed, 87 acceleration. He's got mid-80s shooting and defensive awareness at 83, stick checking at 83. There's just, again, a lot better options. I would much rather have Nick Ehlers than this Tatar. 85, Bernie Perrant's up next with X-Ray, 5'10". There's not much else you can say. I mean, if you're building a Flyers theme team maybe, but 5'10", unless you're playing squad battles, and even if you are, you're just gonna get picked apart. Mark Stone receives a card with Thief and Elite Edges. Elite Edges is nice. I think that makes up for the fact he's gonna play like he's turning like a boat essentially, but Mark Stone cards have always been just really bad because of how sluggish they are. He's 6'3", which is awesome size, but if you got Elite Edges and Unstoppable Force, he might be able to be usable just because he is so slow and you wouldn't be able to knock him off the puck. But until then, just far too slow, and the fact that he's an 87 means that the value, the minimum cost to buy him, because 87s are able to be traded in, is just not there. And then we've got the 88 Victor Hedman, 6'6", 244 with booming shots. Which is phenomenal for him. His body checking gets up to 93. Defensive awareness and stick checking is at 92 and 93. Other than his acceleration and speed, this is a lights out card, and that's always going to be the trade-off. I think he's an extremely good card. I think that his X factor is probably a little bit better because of his abilities, but depending on what he goes for, it's probably going to be a couple $100,000 for a little while. If he falls under 100K, this is a really, really good buy. Right now, because speed is still relatively in the low 90s, once it gets into the high 90s, it's going to be awfully hard to use him. All right, first up in the new master sets is the 89 Quinn Hughes. He has Gladiator and Protector as his options, which are his two best ones, and that really makes him a little bit more interesting because he gets his body checking up to 86. He is the left-handed version, essentially, of Cale Makar. 94 speed, 94 acceleration, 95 agility, a great shot. Hand stats are all in the mid-90s. If you can get Gladiator and Protector activated, this is a really good card that you can maybe switch out. Like, if you have Cale Makar already, then maybe on the other pairing, you go Quinn Hughes and just pair them with bigger players. But elite edges, as we've seen with defensemen this year, is very viable. I mean, at the point, if you're someone like me who likes to work around and get those point shots for tip-ins, or if you are able to stick with someone, I think a lot of people forget that elite edges is active without the puck as well. Thunderclap and Send It just are not useful in my opinion. They are just not ones that are worth activating. But elite edges makes Quinn Hughes a little bit more interesting, as well as Gladiator and Protector. You've got to have these activated, in my opinion, for him to really be a selection, but still a very good card. Zach Hyman gets a master set with Distributor and Spark, as well as Buzzing and Wingman. So you can technically go Spark and Wingman, and he's going to get 90 acceleration, 89 speed at 6'1". He is a pure winger for the most part. I mean, if you get these activated, you know, there are some synergies that can get him up, but his face-offs is just very low, so you're going to play him on the wing. He's got Gold No Contest, which is a very interesting ability. There's really no way to quantify it, and the only time that you really notice it is when your player gets tied up by a CPU, or a player if they are someone who's good at manual tie-ups. You won't be tied up for very long at all, but it's the exceptional stick tension and strength when going into pickups. When you get the puck poked off you, or if you go into the corner, people with no contest usually come away with it. He has Close Quarters, which is a great superstar ability. Relentless is really pointless. So while this is an all-around interesting card, I don't think it's one of the best, but still a good right-handed winger. Then we've got the 89 Matthew Barzal. He's got Thief and Protector and Gladiator and Well-Rounded. So if you go Gladiator and Thief, he's got gold wheels, silver elite edges, and silver tape-to-tape. 95 speed, 93 acceleration with 90 shooting, great mid-90s hand stats, and hell, even with Thief activated, you can play him at center. This is essentially Nathan McKinnon's X Factor, an extremely good card. One of the best right-handed wingers in the game right now. You know, like, he is, I'm actually pretty surprised at this combo that they gave him. Very effective. Now, if you compare him to the prior event, like, I'd much rather have Barzal than Solani, or really even Zabinajad. So Barzal is a phenomenal add to your team, but I'm going to talk about the value in a little bit. Then we've got the 89 Patrice Bergeron. He's got Workhorse and Spark, as well as Fly the Zone and Buzzing. So he can go up to an acceleration and speed with those activated. He's going to have 90 acceleration, 90 speed with those activated, high 80 shooting, 90 hand stats, 84 body checking, but it's defensively where Patrice Bergeron shines. 93 faceoffs, 96 defensive awareness, and 96 stick checking depending on the synergy you go with. But he's got gold quick draw, as well as silver close quarters and shutdown. Shutdown on a forward, not as impactful, because when defending the rush, you're usually probably going to be doing that with your defenseman. But gold quick draw, I talked about this on William Karlsson last week. If you are good on the faceoffs, you will never lose a draw essentially with this ability. It is very understated how good this ability actually is to have on at least one of your centers, because you can know with full confidence you'll win a draw whenever you really need to if you are good at the faceoffs. And if you're not, I have a faceoff video that you can go watch, and it will teach you how to be a great faceoff artist. He's also got close quarters. I love going for rebound and tip shots and things like that all around the net. Bergeron is a really, really fun card, and automatically one of the best centermen in the game right now. In all honesty, the only one I would rather have over Patrice Bergeron at center is the Edmonton Oilers' Wayne Gretzky. I think Bergeron's better than Ole Jokinen. and better than all the other options, including William Karlsson. This is a great, great card. And then we've got the 89 Mackenzie Weegar. Workhorse and wingman or fly the zone, meaning that's 91 acceleration, 91 speed if you get both activated, but it's 89 base body checking, 93 defensive awareness, 92 stick checking, gold truculence, guys. There is a reason why they do not put gold truculence on very many cards in this game currently. I played a few games with Mackenzie Weegar, his 89. I was throwing around Austin Matthews, and I'm not talking I got a few steps and crushed him. I'm talking about I was shoulder to shoulder and I bumped him and he stumbled and just fell into the corner. And Austin Matthews is a big boy in this game and in real life. He's got silver shutdown, which is great. And seeing eye, I've been messing around because I take so many shots from the point wristers to try and score tip-ins. I've been seeing eye when the goalie is screened, just throw in wristers from the point. So all in all, phenomenal card. And I'm going to go over my tier list of what Master Set players I think you should make in the next video I do. But I want to get some clips that I can show you guys which ones and give you some in-game examples. But I've already played a couple games with Mackenzie Weegar and Patrice Bergeron. Both of them get A+ from me if you are wondering. This card is phenomenal. The only way I wouldn't make Mackenzie Weegar is if you are absolutely stupid stacked on the left side. Remember, on the left side, he is right-handed. He's listed as a left defenseman, guys. He is right-handed. So if you've got Team Builder Murphy, if you've got Cale Makar, if you've got, Team Builder Teppo Numminen or Mike Green, McAvoy, if you've got 3 of those guys, then probably not worth it. But you have to understand, this is probably the best defenseman in the game right now. Another huge addition to the game that I just want to point out to you in this video is we finally have a reverse retro jersey pack that you can go and get. If you go to the daily objectives and go to the 5th one, the final choice is a reverse retro jersey pack. So you can go through these challenges, get them done, and you can make sure that you select the Washington Capitals home Screaming Eagle jersey because it is just the best in hockey. Taking a look at the sets, nothing has really changed in terms of value. Honestly, if you get collectibles for 8,000 coins and you choose the card that you want to make, which is what I would recommend you do, it's going to cost you about 200,000 coins. That is it to make one of these masters. And I know that maybe for free-to-play players, that's a lot. But when you think about all of the untradeable cards that you have to lower the cost because you can turn them into sets, and just all of the coins that you've gotten from milestones and objectives and things like that by playing the game, it's very affordable to make these. And like I've said before, you can always break them down in future events. Like there will be events down the line where you trade in 89 overall players and get like 7 or 8 collectibles, and you can do that with these cards as well. So just something to keep in mind. I'll give you guys a quick team update real quick, showing you how I'm lining up my squad. And there you see Patrice Bergeron at #1 center, and then on defense, Mackenzie Weegar's right there. Guys, go out and try them. Phenomenal cards, but my tier list will come out tomorrow. I'll go over all the Master Set players. I'll give you guys all my, clips and things that I've used trying these cards out and let you know before you have to go and spend a bunch of your coins and cards. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like. I do appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.